watching a couple introductions recently, and I cannot stand how I did it. I'm like,
hi guys, thank you so much.
And I was like, Justin, calm down. So I'm like trying to be a little bit cooler. Like,
thank you so much for joining me in my hoo-ha.
Exactly.
On the couch.
Exactly.
My pink hoo-ha.
Oh my god.
That was funny.
All right, here we go. All right. Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on the Justin Root Show. I'm sitting with, well, you know what, let me ask you first.
Oh.
Do you like, I want to call you porn star, because I think you've earned that right.
Okay.
But do you like adult film actor? Do you like sex worker? I hate that phrase.
Yeah, I would never call myself a porn star. That's for other people to
I
call.
can, right?
Sure,
All
if
right,
you want to.
awesome.
Adult film performer.
Okay.
Porn performer. Sex worker is great because
You like that?
ultimately, yeah, that's what I am.
Okay.
And it's my goal to try to humanize that a little bit.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
I usually say adult film performer.
Okay.
You know, because I don't really call myself an actor either in that regard.
But you are a good one.
Thank you. But my job is to perform.
Got it.
Like the acting is secondary. The sex is the meat. That's the important part of it.
Nice.
So.
All right, well, please welcome sex worker Logan Pierce.
Woohoo!
I love your name. Well, we were just talking, before the camera started rolling, we were actually
Okay.
talking about your name.
Mm-hmm.
I know from reading your book, Between the Sheets, where your name came from, but how did you come up with Logan Pierce?
A happy accident, really. Initially, I wanted to come into the industry under the name of Guy Pierce, because Guy Pierce was my favorite actor. He isn't so much anymore, but he was at the time. And I wanted to change the spelling of his name to Pierce. So it's piercing, double entendre, because porn loves.
Of course.
You know, you gotta have something sexual in the name, you know, it can't just be a regular name. Maybe not the first name Guy, but I like the name Pierce. I think it's really strong. Obviously it fits with the industry, so I was brainstorming with a girlfriend of mine at the time, and she kind of just off the cuff said Logan. I was like, oh, Logan, I like that.
Yeah.
2 syllables, it's casual, like I feel like I can say it and be confident that that is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Pierce.
Like you identified right away, you saw yourself in the name.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I just stuck with it.
Yeah. And I think it's important, before this interview goes any further, to start by saying, this was your dream. You wanted to do this. This isn't a story about somebody who came to LA, tried to be an actor, things didn't work out, some guy approached you, hey, I want to be in porn, and you did.
I want to make some money.
Yeah, I mean, like, this was something sought after, which I think is so fascinating.
Yeah.
I think that's such a different twist to the usual sort of like porn story you hear, especially with women.
Yeah.
And
although I gotta say, since being in the industry, I've met so many women who have had that same dream.
amazing.
Who grew up watching it, and they idolized like Jenna Hayes and Jenna Jameson and all of these like stars,
Sure.
and they wanted to emulate them.
You were 8 years old when you first saw sex on TV, right?
Yeah. Yeah, watching an episode of Baywatch, of all shows, which is hypersexual to begin with, but, you know, at the time, it was just a show on TV.
Sure.
No big deal. So watching it, and it opens with this couple making out in this jacuzzi at night. It's steamy, literally, figuratively, you know, they're having a good time, and I just remember, like, the man at one point, he says, like, I've never felt so alive before. I was like, wow, this is great. What are they about to do? This is stimulating. I'm interested. And they jump into a swimming pool, and they start kissing. She whispers to him, kiss me under the water, which is that the title? No, the title of the episode is If Looks Could Kill.
I love that you
But, yeah, of course. I went back and watched it plenty of
Sure,
times. So they start kissing, then she says, kiss me under the water. They go under the water, and pretty much out of nowhere, it's like, where did she hide these? She pulls out handcuffs his wrist to the bottom rung of the ladder, and I'm just shook. I am scared. I'm like, what, they were just having a good time. Like, what just happened here? And she climbs out of the pool, leaves him there to drown. It's like, Jesus Christ, this is horrifying. Like, what in the world am I watching right now?
And to an 8-year-old, that's like 2 worlds happening. You have
Yeah.
death
Two
and sex.
two things I know nothing about.
Right?
But just in this moment, which, like I said, I've gone back to watch it, and it's silly now. It's over the top. But as a kid, it just felt so real.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that, you know, someone could be that heartless to do this. They didn't even have sex, but it was just the promise of something. I knew they were on the precipice of it.
Yeah.
And then it just went 180 degrees, and And I still feel that way in movies where people die during sex, like Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
Or other films, erotic thrillers like that, like they scare me more than anything else. Because it's like, oh, these two people, they're in this really, really private, really vulnerable state where they're both high on endorphins, and then out of nowhere it just turns.
And it's about pushing boundaries too, I'm sure. Like, how far can you take it? How far can you go?
Yeah.
And when you get a little taste of it, you want more, right? And
for sure, yeah. I think that's the gift and the curse of fetishes, is that you can't really scratch the itch and have it go away. It kind of just gets bigger, and you want to dive deeper into it. Yeah. Which is why here I am in porn. Yeah. After that, I developed a strange obsession with sex. And
you're and give me the time frame. You're in Philadelphia. You're
Philly suburbs, Delaware County.
You're between. We should probably explain why we have this in here, because you just told me about it. So Wawa's your convenience store, right?
Yeah. I think of it as much more than that. But the town I grew up in is where the first one was erected.
Okay.
So going home, it's just like that's all.
It's like your 7-Eleven.
All you see. But a
nicer.
Lot better.
But a lot nicer.
A
Okay.
lot better.
A night.
Anyway.
All right, and you just like to give them a shout out.
Yeah,
plug
absolutely.
every time and hope
OD Fest. I can't wait.
Are they on Twitter? Are they on Instagram?
Yeah,
absolutely. Do they follow you?
No.
Well, they will.
I tag them in everything.
Okay, well, I'll tag them. I have a huge following.
Yeah.
Huge. Speaking of, it's so funny. You know what's so funny? It's like, this will be the least viewed thing you'll ever appear in on the internet. This interview.
No, it will.
It blows my mind that if you go to any of the YouPorn or Pornhub or any of those things,
which you shouldn't do.
Don't do it. We're gonna actually We're gonna get into that in a second, because I do want to talk about the industry as a business.
Right.
But if you just look up a clip, 12, 15, 20 million views.
Yeah, a lot.
It's $1 billion industry.
But you know who's not getting that money?
You.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's so. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Okay, we'll jump to that.
There's so many places.
There's so many places I want to talk about, but I want to go back to you being you were going to Temple. Temple University, right?
Yeah, in North Philly.
Then you actually moved out to LA to be part of their film school program, right?
Yeah.
At the Oaks in Burbank.
That's
that right?
The Oakwoods. The Oakwoods. Legendary Oakwoods. I'm in film school. As far as anyone is concerned, I want to be a filmmaker. So I'm following the correct path, and I'm offered this internship, so I take it. But my ulterior motive, which no one knew about, is that I had been contacting performers, and I had been studying about porn studios, and I contacted agencies, and I sent them photos and emails, and just all at once the pieces came together. So in a way, it kind of felt like fate. Yeah. if I can be that cheeky, it just really felt like if I don't pursue this porn while I have the opportunity, I'm just going to finish the semester, go home, and still oh man, what could have been? Just the rest of my life, just imagining what if. So I took the opportunity, and here we are, almost 7 years later, and it's still my full-time job.
And you moved out here. And if I'm not mistaken, you shot your first porn on the second day of being out. Is that true?
Yeah, second day. Second day. Wow.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. Because it was all set up before I got to LA. Because like I said, I contacted agencies. One got back to me and they said, hey, we like your look. If you're coming to LA, we'll see if we can find you work. So I drove to LA. And during that drive, it was like a 4-day drive, I'm still in correspondence with them, and they said, hey, we have a potential job opening. If you're available, if you can get tested and you want to do it, here it is. So I said, yeah. The very first thing I did, actually, was get tested when I came to LA. Before I even checked into the Oakwoods. It was just okay, take care of this one thing that I need to do to make sure that I'm eligible to perform. Then check in, get squared away with school, meet my roommates, and just kind of just ride the wave, see what happens.
How do you even know that you can do that? Did you, or maybe you practice? Did you ever have friends be obviously you're not going to have your friends sitting in a corner, but how do you, was there any kind of practice, or do you just, nope, this is it, gotta see?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, I never had anyone watch. I was never an exhibitionist.
Okay.
growing up. And from my experience now being in the business, you don't really know until you do it.
Okay.
You know, the failure rate for guys is very high.
Huge. You hear that all the time.
Yeah, and I've met plenty of guys who's like, oh, it's my first day, I'm so excited, I'm cocky, I'm arrogant, let's do this. And then 2.5 hours later, they're still struggling, and it's like, oh God, what's happening? And that's a tough spot to be in. You know, I've been there once before. Yeah. It is devastating, but you don't know until you know. So you kind of just have to put yourself, like, I just wanted to dive in head first and just see if it was at all possible. And if it didn't work out, then whatever, it didn't work out. At least I tried. You know, there was always that possibility of failure.
Sure.
But it did work. You know, and I wish I could say there was a secret or something, but I think it's just, you just have to just relax and just roll with it. Mm-hmm. You know, the people around, nobody wants you to fail. They're not there to have their time wasted. They want to shoot something hot and erotic, so they're on your side. You just have to, you know, submit to it and just go along with it and have fun. That's the most important part of it, is just to have fun.
Is it still fun for you?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely, yes. A good day is a great day. It's a vacation. You know, a bad day, okay, that's pretty shitty. That's really bad. It's like worse than a day at the office when you have a bad day.
What is a bad day in porn? What is the absolute worst thing? I mean, aside from probably the obvious, not being able to get it up, but
that's bottom for a male performer. You know, our responsibilities are limited.
What role does Viagra or Cialis or any enhancers play in your job?
Pretty big.
Yeah,
pretty big.
Every time situation, or
no, but just there every time. Okay. You know, it's always on deck in case.
Got it.
Because, like I said, our responsibilities are limited. So if we can't get it up, we can't do our job. You know, and at the end of the day, while having fun should be, you know, your first and foremost objective, it is a job, and you are creating a product. So you have to do what you have to do to make that product. Mm-hmm. And if you can't do it naturally, okay, then now you have to do it artificially. You have to stimulate yourself. But it's never as foolproof as I think a lot of people, and Hollywood in particular, like to parade it as. You know, it's not like you pop the pill and, oh my God, I'm hard for hours and nothing can...
And the rock music starts.
Yeah, nothing can stop me now. It's like you have to still concentrate and relax and allow your body to work naturally, but now you just have your blood flow is facilitated. Yeah. You know? But if you are nervous and you aren't relaxed and you're worried, the blood goes right to your head.
And it's just not going to happen.
It's awful. It's just a splitting headache, completely flush, you're pouring sweat. Yeah. And, you know, everyone around's watching.
Of course.
Checking their watch, like, all right,
well, buddy, it's all on you.
On their phone, like, all right, should we call someone else? Are you going to do this or what? And, you know, that is a tough spot to be in. That's really tough.
Walk me through a porn shoot, okay? No, I mean, like, take me with you one day and walk me through. No, I'm kidding. Walk me through it right here. I mean, you have an agent, which I don't know if a lot of people know that.
Probably not. I didn't know it until I researched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's pretty standard.
Okay.
Mainly it's just like, okay, make sure you get my rate and make sure I know who it's for, who it's with, and I get all the information ahead of time because, you know, in this business, most days we don't really receive our call sheet until a day or two before.
Really? So when you're paired up with a girl who you've never even met before, and you show up, it's time to come to set. How much time do you have between, hi, I'm Logan, hi, I'm Jeanette, and Jeanette. All of a sudden you're fucking? I mean, what's the time?
It depends. Yeah. It varies, yeah. If it's a smaller scale gonzo production, which basically means very limited to no dialogue and then just sex.
It just starts.
Yeah, I've honestly had days where I show up, I say hi to everyone. You know, if I don't know the girl, we shake hands, we introduce ourselves, we talk for a brief minute, then I'll brush my teeth, and bam, we kind of start going at it. But usually there's a system to it. Like, I show up, introduce myself, we do paperwork. Okay, that takes a few minutes, we can chit-chat in the meantime. Then she'll do stills, pre-grows, you know, like profile photos for her. Then generally that would lead into box cover photos, where I'm included. And then that naturally progresses into sex stills. So we do have this grace period where we're not fucking yet. You know, we're not having sex, but we're talking. We're getting a feel for each other's body language, and then it just naturally sort of sort of moves into sex.
So you guys actually shoot stills first?
A lot of times, yeah.
And then the actual video?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why can't they just pull stills from the video?
Some companies do, but a lot of companies, they don't have the video quality to do that.
Oh, interesting.
You know? But a lot of companies will do video first, pause after, 3 or 4 positions. We're 2 minutes away from the pop shot, industry jargon.
I think most people know what pop shot is.
Yeah, and then we'll cut for
Is it still called the money shot?
No, it's pop shot.
Oh, what happened? Wasn't it called money shot?
I don't think anyone ever said the money shot in the business. I think it was something that civilians adopted.
Yeah.
But then we'll break for 10-15 minutes. She can get a touch of makeup, and then we'll run through the stills, and then we'll pick up right where we left off.
There's a lot of technical aspects to porn. It's not just all press record and have a blast.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, from my perspective, it's really just about my partner and I enjoying each other's time and having fun. Being conscious of time. Really, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because there is an arbitrary time length that most companies, they want to achieve, and each position has to be held for 3 to 5 minutes generally. So it's like, okay, just once you land in this position, you can manipulate it a little bit, but generally stay here for X amount of minutes and then move on.
Yeah. You're such a nice guy. You're such a gentleman. You are. You're like a mild-mannered, sweet, very intelligent, very funny, very smart guy. I mean, I would imagine that you've never had a problem with any girl on set not having fun or enjoying it with you, right? Okay.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah?
At the end of the day, I would love to be able to say oh yes, well, they love me. I'm so amazing. But we're actors.
Yeah.
We're performing. Obviously, I wouldn't call myself an actor necessarily, but the job is to sell a good performance. So obviously, being that close to them, you can feel body language if it's not fully there, and you can definitely feel it when it is, and both of you are just completely lost in the throes of it. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I never really asked if I was like, hell, was that the best you ever had, or anything like that? Did you really come? I just go along with it. So I hope that everyone's had a good time. I don't know.
What kind of career goals are in your industry? I mean, in film and television, people aspire maybe an Emmy, an Oscar, or an award, or they want to work with great people. What do you try to achieve as a porn star?
Well,
as a sex worker,
as a film worker, as an adult film performer. Well, we still have the award system, so I guess you could aspire to win as many AVN awards as possible.
Which you won. You were Best Newcomer.
Yeah,
That's a big award.
Yeah, my first year.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And did you take your parents?
I did.
So obviously, you're doing porn, and they found out, I know, because an ex-girlfriend of yours...
Her parents kind of took the initiative to let my parents know, which I'm thankful for, because obviously it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for me to just say it. It was tough. I was telling a lot of white lies. School ended, and I said that my internship had hired me, so I'm going to stay for the summer. And then little by little, I guess they probably got more suspicious that something wasn't quite right. And then the bomb was dropped that, I've been working in porn.
And their reaction?
Mild disappointment. I think it was just more confusion than anything else. Just like, oh, we didn't even know that this was something you wanted to do. Like, oh, did you just fall into this in LA? Like, what did the city do to you? And I was like, no, Mom, this is something I really wanted to do. And I was just honest. I said, that's what I'm doing. I don't know what else to say. I'm making pretty good money. I'm fully conscious of what I'm doing. I enjoy it. But I'm renting my own apartment in LA. It's fine. I'm just enjoying it. So I wouldn't worry. And they were worried. naturally, as parents tend to do.
It should be, yeah.
Yeah.
For anything. For their child in general. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I mean, looking back, I thought then like, oh, at the time I was 21, I thought like, oh wow, I'm a man. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But now, 6 years later, I'm looking back like, wow, I was a kid. And I still feel like a kid a lot, but I was just like, I was very young, very unsure of my future, and I was kind of just flying by the seat of my pants. Like, literally, they weren't going to stop me.
Yeah.
And they knew that. They couldn't ground me or anything. They couldn't force me to come home, and they didn't. They still loved me, and they still love me.
Why do you think the industry is looked down upon? Why do you think people frown upon sex workers? Why do you think it's... For something that is watched by billions and billions and billions of people, why is it such a taboo secret sometimes? I don't get that.
Me neither.
Who are your fans? Who reaches out to you the most? Who contacts you the most? Who's watching your porn?
I get a lot of people. It's all over the place.
But when you say people, males, females, like both?
Yeah, both. I've had people who are therapists, who are teachers, who are fellow actors, who are real estate agents. I've just had a lot of people contact me and say either, oh, I never used to watch, this is what I get the most, honestly. Like, I never used to really watch porn or give it the time of day until I saw you, and now you're one of my favorite performers, and I love what you do, etc. You've helped me embrace my sexuality or my inner perversion, and that's nice. And it's also like people consume it and then throw it away.
Yeah.
They delete their history, they close their laptop.
Sure.
And then they just push it under the carpet, and it's like forgotten about.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I guess, consume it almost in shame. It's publicly condemned but privately endorsed. When I talk to people one-on-one, the number one thing that I think most people say is like, oh, you don't strike me as a porn star. Okay, what the hell does that mean? What is your image of a porn star? What have you projected in your own mind as to what the industry is? Do you have any sex worker friends? Do you know anyone who was a sex worker? If you meet a sex worker, you're gonna learn that they're a person just like you.
Men in porn don't make the same as women, right? It's
the
complete opposite.
Yeah.
In the film and television world right now.
On a per scene basis, absolutely. I think in general, the women make twice as much as we do per scene. But on the flip side, men work twice as much as the women and end up having what could potentially be a lifelong career, as opposed to, I think the average career span for a woman might be less than 2 years.
Interesting. Even and there's so much MILF porn.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of older women, younger men porn. Which you've done a lot of that. That's
my bread and butter almost.
Do you prefer that to young girls? Do you prefer older women to younger women?
No, there are qualities to either one, that I enjoy. To me, it's really just about, it seems kind of silly to say, but personality is much more important. If I show up and my scene partner is grumpy, oh, I don't want to do this. I was out all night partying. Oh my God, can we just get this over with?
No.
I don't care how beautiful you are on the outside.
That's not attractive.
You're not doing it for me, and you're not doing it for anyone else. And unfortunately, I've had days like that where the scene gets cut and released and people are just lauding it. They love it. They're like, oh, you're so perfect. But it's like, I know what happened behind the scenes. I know that you were just complaining the whole time and you kind of made this hellish for everyone involved. But that gets cut away, and it's just the fantasy that exists. But like I said, for me, personality is key. I want to show up, and I want to have fun. I want my partner to have fun, and I want us to both be on the same page.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, and you've been saying that it's fun for you. It's fun, but it can't be fun for every one of your partners. How do you power through when...
And sometimes for me,
you're paired up with a girl who's not experiencing fun at the moment.
Yeah, you kind of just have to project yourself into a different fantasy.
Yeah. Well, you obviously, you keep saying, oh, I'm not an actor, I don't want to refer to myself. But, I mean, it sounds like you're doing more acting than anybody.
Yeah. No, honestly, I love acting, and I do think of myself with at least a modicum of talent in that department, but for what we do, for the most part, I understand we're improvising a lot of it.
Really? So I didn't have that question. It's not really script. You're not like
50-50.
I mean, you're not one of those like, I don't think my character would eat pussy this way. I'm gonna.
Well, see, like usually at that point, that's where you stop acting, and it's like, okay, now you just enjoy one another.
Got it.
Sometimes, but then there are days where the production calls for you have to embody that character all the way through, and that's fun. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's in your role playing.
Got it. Because you'll know at least like when you show up, like, okay, today I came home from school and I caught my stepmom watching porn, and it's a taboo thing, and she's gonna.
I see. Those are the scenes where I would say that it's not. I would never consider it acting, because it is just silly, and it's generally the same plot over and over again.
Sure.
You know, it's just instead of, oh, she caught me masturbating, now I catch her masturbating, or or something silly like that. Like they are silly. The plots are, for the most part, just really, really silly.
How many films have you done? Do you know a ballpark?
Probably close to 600 scenes. You know,
sure.
not films.
So does that mean? And then how many women would you say you slept with?
Probably about 600. Because there are a lot of performers who I work with multiple times, but it's kind of the nature of the business, you know. Almost every day I meet someone new.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And you guys, I know that, talking about like maybe your parents' concerns and anyone's concerns with the industry, you guys are a very healthy group of people though, because the testing
more so than you would expect.
Yeah, the testing, it's a requirement every 2 weeks,
every 14 days.
People. So I love that you guys call us civilians.
Yeah,
it's the best. I love it.
Yeah, because you're on the outside, and
but civilians aren't even getting tested that much.
Right. Which is so ironic, isn't it? That they point the finger and call us dirty and vile, and we're spreading disease.
Yeah.
When if you're a professional in this business, you are only having sex with the talent pool. So you're only having sex with quarantined, tested individuals. Mm-hmm. I don't have sex with anyone on the outside, and since getting into the business, I may have only had sex with 3 women who weren't in the business.
Wow. And if there is some sort of outbreak, the whole industry knows, and it shuts down.
Yeah. It's immediate, which is great because, okay, now we have complete control and isolation, and we can figure out the cause, we can see how far it went, and then just nip it in the bud.
And speaking of public and shaming and all that, Stormy Daniels is a big name right now, and she just got the key to West Hollywood 2 days ago?
Yeah, she did.
Ago.
And which is incredible.
When something like that happens, when someone from your industry becomes all of a sudden a bigger than a household name, like an international
century, like most famous porn star in history now.
Absolutely, and when that happens,
it'll be written into the history books.
Absolutely, I mean, kids are going to have to learn about her in school. But like when something like that happens, do you think yes, let's shed some light, let's get our industry in the limelight right now, or is it more of a oh fuck, oh here we go?
Well, so long as it's positive. Mm-hmm. I think what she's doing is really great. So it's really helping to, I don't know if legitimize is like the best word, but it's putting more focus on porn, and obviously the country is divided on whether it's positive or negative, but from my perspective, in a positive light. So I embrace it.
Yeah. Have you ever met her? Or
I've worked under her.
What does work under her?
She directed me.
Oh, I was like, she rode you and you were laying down? What?
No.
She directed you? That's incredible.
Yeah, she never went away. And
there are women porn directors? I think that's
Where
the
have
most...
you been?
Yeah, exactly. That's the most fascinating thing.
No, my best days on set are with the women directors, and
holy shit! Why don't more people know that? Or maybe they do, and I'm just ridiculous.
But we gotta get the word out. Yeah.
No, I'm picturing fat Joe from the Bronx. He's got a hat and a cigar, and he's telling you to fuck faster.
That archetype is fading, if not almost entirely dead, which is great. Yeah, there are so many women directing now. Writing, directing, producing, and that has really... Oh, man. It's been amazing.
Wow.
It really is. Like, every day on set with a woman director is just a breath of fresh air. Because they're just as twisted and perverted as anyone else, but they have just a greater understanding and more compassion, and there's a lot of respect for everyone on set.
What is your absolute favorite scene you've ever done?
That's a loaded question.
Is that a Sophie's choice?
That's a really loaded question. I don't even even tell.
While you're thinking...
Because I shoot so many scenes that... And I like to live in the moment. And they're ephemeral. So what you feel in that moment kind of just... You utilize all your energy. You put it all in. And then once cut is called, it just disappears into the ether until it's released. And you're like, oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. I remember that.
Have you ever gotten off to one of your own scenes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
For sure.
So you like go,
sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I love that. That's incredible.
Whatever.
I masturbate to my own interviews, so it's
yeah. I mean, if I couldn't get off to them, I think there'd be a problem. I don't know. I guess you could look at it either way and say, yeah, this guy's a narcissist. He watches his own scenes, but when I perform, like, I want it to be sexy.
Yeah, I love it.
I want it to be something that I would watch otherwise.
So why can I go on to one of those tube sites and watch all of what you guys have done for free?
Why can you?
Yeah, because it's not illegal to upload it?
No, it's...
How is that different than downloading, like,
I wish I knew. This is an area that I'm...
The music
admittedly a little unfamiliar with. Like, I understand that it's bad, but I grew up in the time where that's all I knew as well.
Sure.
So it's kind of like an inner conflict with me where, I mean, now I pay for my porn if I really want it. And I'll buy DVDs, but they're usually old DVDs.
Are they still even making DVDs?
Yeah, they'll still
Are they
make
really?
them, yeah. I don't know how profitable it is, but
it doesn't seem fair because it's like the music industry fixed it. We had Napster and everyone went crazy, and now it's like, for the most part, and I know you can still get your music illegally, but for the most part it's set up for the people who don't want to do it illegally. They don't have to. Mm-hmm. Whereas I feel like porn, I feel like they haven't protected you guys enough because you can't, it's like Amy Schumer, new movie comes out. It's not going to be on YouTube the next day.
No, it won't.
It's not going to be on YouTube ever because YouTube will find a way, they'll take it down.
Yeah, or they'll monetize it. They'll say you have to pay $5 to watch it or get YouTube Red or something.
And they're not doing that for you guys.
No, it is unfortunate. And the way it's affected me is like wages have gone down, of course. But at the same time, the frequency that I work has gone up. So they're trying to shoot more to combat it, but Pornhub has now ingratiated itself into the industry to where it sponsors huge events. At the AVN Awards, it has the second biggest booth in the entire expo. A-list performers are endorsing Pornhub, are shooting exclusively for Pornhub. So they seem to be giving back in a way.
Okay.
I don't know, but
you're making a living, right? It's fair to say that you make
making a living, but not. Once again, I think a lot of people have this projection that porn stars are living lavishly, and we're living comfortably. But I'm not liquid, I don't have a ton of social mobility. Mm-hmm. It's just like, the job pays my bills, keeps me fed, keeps a roof over my head, and I can have freedom to do the things I want to do, but I still have to be very conscious of where what I spend my money on.
There's one other topic that a lot of people are very confused by, and that is the personal life being separate from the professional life when it comes to having a girlfriend. And you have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
How does it work? How do you... I know each person has to be different, and obviously your girlfriend is her own person.
Yeah.
And she's going to react in her own way. But what's the common theme of convincing the person you're with, this is just a job? You have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, well, thankfully for me, she's also a performer.
Okay.
So we both have an understanding of it just being a job.
And you're totally okay with her and other guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would be a complete hypocrite if I wasn't, because I would want my partner to be okay with me being with other women.
And she's totally okay.
Yeah. She gets off to it like a lot.
Do you guys watch each other's scenes with other people?
No. I don't get off to it as much as she does.
Okay.
I don't mind it though. It doesn't bother me.
What would you say to somebody wanting to follow your footsteps? What's your advice?
Get your degree.
Really?
First. Yeah. Because the business is volatile, so it's just really nice to have something else to fall back on.
What do you have to fall back
Yeah, I don't. This is my life. So, which is why when I turned to writing, that opened up a brand new door to me of like, oh, this is actually, I mean, my whole life I've been writing. So that's been my number one love. From a kid to an adult, along with porn, is just writing. I love being able to transport someone to a different time, a different world, and guide them through a story. So what I'm hoping is that I continue writing, I continue publishing, and that is able to sustain my lifestyle, if not increase my lifestyle, and have more of a residual income as opposed to just X amount of hours for X amount of dollars.
You're a very good writer. You incorporate so many different elements. There's an eroticism to it, of course, but there's also a personal side. Mm-hmm. There's a technical side. There's the professional side of it. You bring a very glamorous part of LA to the book, too. Mm. It's just great. It's great. It's cool. Not just one sort of like, there's a lot of layers to it.
Thank you.
A lot of layers. That's a great cosign. It's very good. It's not just like I don't know, it surprised me. I didn't expect it.
Thank you.
It's a really, really good book.
Yeah, I tried to craft it in such a way where I'm saying a lot with just one sentence instead of really going into great detail and selling the point and hitting the nail on the head too many times. Like, I want it to be where you can read a sentence and it has a lot of weight to it, so you can interpret it in more than one way. Terse is what I would call it. But that's the kind of style I like. I like it simple and casual, conversational. So I've tried to incorporate those elements, and I hope they come across.
You succeeded.
That's cool.
You
That's
absolutely
cool.
succeeded.
It's a great cosign.
Well, we've come to the end of my show. Okay. I love to end it with a very little simple game. It's so easy, you don't even have to think about it. Olives or pickles?
Pickles.
Philly or LA?
That's really, you're killing me. LA.
Heather Graham and Boogie Nights, Julianne Moore and Boogie Nights?
Oh, Heather Graham.
Beer can or beer bottle?
Beer bottle.
Breakfast or lunch?
Breakfast.
Doggy or reverse cowgirl?
Reverse cowgirl.
David Lynch, Coen Brothers.
Wow. Oh, Coen Brothers.
Food truck or a diner?
Food truck.
Jenna Jameson or Tracy Lords?
Tracy Lords.
Tic Tac or Altoids?
Altoids.
Elvis, Johnny Cash?
Johnny Cash.
Cantaloupe or grapefruit?
Cantaloupe.
Kate Middleton or Meghan Markle?
Meghan Markle.
Hot dog, taco?
Taco.
Janet Jackson or J-Lo?
Janet Jackson.
Crossword puzzle, word search?
Word search.
Mexican food or Italian food?
Ooh, this is the toughest one yet. Italian food.
Elton John or Phil Collins?
Phil Collins.
John Holmes or Ron Jeremy?
John Holmes, all the way.
Sexy lingerie or costume, like French maid schoolgirl outfit?
Costume.
Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Scorsese or Coppola?
Scorsese.
MySpace or AOL?
MySpace.
I probably might know. MILF or Schoolgirl?
Schoolgirl, yeah.
Keanu Reeves or Johnny Depp?
Keanu Reeves.
Peanut butter or chocolate?
Peanut butter.
Booze or weed?
Booze.
Stevie Wonder, Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Wonder.
I had a feeling you'd say that. It's fine, whatever, I'll give it to you. I cannot thank you enough for coming on here. Where can people find you? You're Logan Pierce on Twitter, right?
Who is Logan on Twitter.
Okay.
Instagram, who_is_Logan, because someone already took who is Logan.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm in his bio too. He's like, I'm not the porn star.
Oh, hilarious. That's awesome.
And you can find the book.
Yeah, this book.
On Amazon. You can find the audiobook on Audible, or you can find signed paperbacks at whoislogan.com.
And I loved the audio. I got it on Audible, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was so
happy.
Great. Well, thank you so much. You're welcome back anytime. You're fun. You're great. You know, it's really great. I really appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.